Right now, let's bring in the chairman of Americans for Energy Dominance, Sam Romain. Sam, good to see you. Here's what the president said earlier before heading back to Washington from Florida. Watch.
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it, low key on the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want the nuclear dust. We're going to want that.
All right, President Trump also telling Americans to hang on as all of this in Iran plays out. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had this message for the American people as well. Watch.
I think the American people understand that in any 50, I'm not going to put a time on it, but let's just pick 50 days of temporary elevated prices. Prices will come off on the other side for 50 years of not having an Iranian regime with a nuclear weapon. The American people, are beginning to understand, thanks to President Trump, that there is no prosperity without security.
Sam, your take on this. How much of this is sort of short-term volatility, but how much of it could sort of stick around and hit families longer term?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. But to your question, I think both. This war in Iran is an important one for neutralizing a Middle Eastern adversary, certainly, right? And as Americans, we should be able to project strength overseas. But what's happening here at home is that we are still subject to foreign adversary countries and the global markets, right? We need to focus on how can we make America energy dominant. Energy dominance is a keystone of this president's administration. And when we are seeing the markets fluctuate 10 to 15, 20% on a Truth Social post or a tweet or an action of an overseas country, that is not energy dominance, unfortunately. And so while I do believe that we should be able to project strength abroad, we need to take a deep look at what's happening at home.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think this would be a real help for the audience because we are producing more energy here than we have in the past. The president is driving a very aggressive energy agenda. But talk to us about why we are still subject to this volatility despite all of our domestic sources.
Yeah, the most simple explanation is simple supply and demand, right? Other countries who are more susceptible and less energy independent are willing to pay more to keep their lights on. Well, we are players in the global economy, and so our oil, natural gas, and energy companies, we are exporting for top dollar because it makes a lot of sense to export and capture premiums in this time, right? But at the same time, that comes at the detriment of the American ratepayer. You and I, who both pay utility bills and fill our cars full of fuel, we're also paying that increased price too. There's a whole plethora of red tape and bureaucracy that surrounds homemade American generation, whether it's nuclear power, solar on your own home, for example, is one of the most heavily regulated spaces. We should not be subject to this high red tape bureaucracy at home. If you own your house and you own your roof, if you want to throw a solar panel on there and become off-grid, you should be allowed to. Just like I own a well, just like I have a garden, just like I have a chicken farm, I should have my own energy.
And of course, we have to export a lot of our refining, a lot of our crude for refining capacity because we don't have the refining capacity here as well. Sam Romain, appreciate your analysis. Thanks for being here with me.